This week, we're tapping into Indy's two best resources. That's Indy with Kids, a resource for Indianapolis parents, and IndyHub, a resource for the professional millennials among us who are here to tell us about No Mean City. So if you're in the market for initiatives to get involved with and events or activities to put on your calendar, you do not want to miss this show today. All that and much more on The Edge.
Your audio and video source featuring Indianapolis tech trends, marketing industry champions, and business innovation. This is Edge of Indy. Broadcasting from Edge Media Studios. Let's get today's conversation started.
So welcome back to Edge of Indy. If you haven't seen this show live on Facebook before, welcome. We certainly appreciate our new audiences regularly. Hey, let me tell you what Edge of Indy is all about. Edge of Indy is about focusing on Indianapolis businesses and organizations that are making a difference there. They're moving and shaking for Indianapolis. They're bringing awareness to causes that you really need to focus on. We're talking to entrepreneurs, organizations that help make Indianapolis a great place to work, live, and visit. That's what Edge of Indy is all about. And we always ask you to choose local and choose local often. So I'm your host, Aaron Sparks. I'm the CEO of Site Strategics. And thanks for joining us. And to my right, we have Brittany Simpson, Director of Marketing Services. How are you doing?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm back.
I know. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
It feels odd. It feels like home. It really does.
Well, it should, because it is.
I've been here for a while. And if I could introduce, I think I can. It's my bloody show.
I believe in you. I think you can.
I'd like to introduce you to Katy Mann, creator of Indy with Kids. Katy, how are you doing?
Hi,
Good,
Katy.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. And we started talking about kids right before the show. Want to dive in? So you've been blogging in some fashion since 1998.
Yes, since I was in high school. It wasn't called blogging then. It was called being on the internet and having a website or a web page. Yeah, I've been interneting. I used to write in HTML too, but
See, okay,
not
compadre.
anymore. Not anymore. No. Like, why would I?
Easy.
I
come
know.
on.
I know.
You're talking to a coder.
I know, but I can't do that anymore. It's too progressed beyond what I knew in high school. I used to build websites for some of my dad's clients. And
cool.
if I think about what they looked like, it's embarrassing.
Makes you cry a little, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
but it paid for me to go on trips when I was in high school, and
Good for you.
they were terrible.
Oh, my Lord. Well,
they didn't know any better back then.
They
so
did.
it's
They were
fine.
on the internet. They were one of the few people on the internet at the time, and that's all that mattered. So
You're one of the good people because
Right.
you've been digging into all these things. That is a great background. In fact, everybody should have that background.
I agree.
Well, you're the brains behind Indy with Kids. Can you tell us about your quest to discover and share what Indianapolis has to offer for parents through our awesome city?
Yeah, so I moved here when I was 21 years old, and I started working for a church on the south side of Indy.
Mm-hmm.
And in my interview question, I came from California. So in my interview question, some of the kids from the youth group that I was interviewing to go lead said, what kinds of things will we do for fun? And I have never been to Indiana, so I don't know. And I said, well, I can tell you that here we go to the beach and we go to Disneyland, but I will learn what we will do for fun in your city. And I did. And there really wasn't a place where all that information was kept for people like me that wanted to be like, where can we take our youth group? Where can we take our family? Because I didn't have kids at the time. And so I came here, I searched everywhere. I got to know the different places you could find things to do. And then when I had kids, I started doing that with my own kids. And it just made sense to kind of put all that together for other people to find.
So necessity was really the need behind this.
Yeah.
It was what created this, right?
Necessity. And then I guess just became an expert on it. So it just seemed natural just to store it all there for other people.
And you're not only, through your resource, it's not only just you getting on there being like, you should go do this, this is where you should go. You really tap into your community, which is enormous. There are many, many thousands of you.
Oh my gosh. It's so true. Like when I first started, it was just like, here's what I did with my baby this week, but it was something that you couldn't do again until the next year because it'd be a festival or something.
Sure.
And so by the time the second year came around, people were like, okay, yeah, we already know we can do that, but what else can we do? And it was like, well, I am one person. You tell me, like, what are you doing?
Right.
And so I couldn't have come up with all of this by myself. Absolutely not. As we grew, people's demand grew. And then the resources and the ability to, we even send other moms out now and other dads out to do these
Like
things.
recon moms?
Yeah, recon moms. So we have contractors that write for us and do that. And we've pulled in a lot of help in the last few years. But for the first 5 years, it really was just me.
That's really cool how it happened organically.
Oh, yeah. And it's been so much fun. Such an adventure.
Never a dull moment.
No. Well, I mean, you can pride yourself on being the #1 online resource for family, living, playing, and parenting in Central Indiana. That is fantastic.
Yes.
And and families need these resources. They really do.
Right. And that's the thing is that we are there for parents, absolutely. But we're not necessarily telling you how to parent. We're just telling you where to do it. So that's what kind of distinguishes us from others.
How did you develop your huge following? Like it is not an overnight thing.
No,
that,
it
like,
isn't.
All of a sudden you wake up and you're, just 34,000 strong on
Those
Facebook.
aren't fiber fans.
Yeah.
I really wish if they were Fiverr fans, we'd have a whole heck of a lot more. But no, I think just over 7 or 8 years of just building that community and having a conversation with people in person, and also because we're all in the same place. So that's what kind of makes us unique from other, web communities, is that we're going to run into each other. People will see me at the grocery store with my screaming children and my hair not done. And I'm going to see you at the grocery store with your screaming children. So not only do we connect online, but we're going to be at the same festival. We're going to be at the same library program. We're in the same, Gymboree classes. So it's just happened. I wish it was overnight, because that'd be so amazing.
That would have been easier, right?
This is what everyone always says, who, like, when people say, like, oh, I wish it was like you. I'm an overnight success 7 years later,
There it is.
So
Yeah.
it took 7 years, to get to that point. And I hope that you have me back again in, a year or two, and I can say, 60,000 fans. Yeah, guess why? So
Absolutely. We'll absolutely do that. And if we can contribute at all to that, to muster that up, you better believe we'll do that. So you grew this organically. Nothing good like this comes with ease, and there is a heck of a lot of self-sacrifice, right, that you put into this, because at some point in time, it really gets hard to do this work. As much as it's valuable, and as much as you love and participate in, there's that grind of, we got to do this again this week, and for all audiences that are wanting to aspire to dive in and create a resource, you have to have a discipline to do this, right?
You do. It is hard work. I worked full-time in one job for 5 years and full-time in this simultaneously. Whoa. And raised a family. And you just start to kind of figure out, okay, well, I can no longer do this anymore. Or I can no longer do this. Our vacations were always spent on my extended education. Like, we go to a conference as a family. And yes, we're in New York City, but you're just staying in a hotel while mommy goes down to classes. So, it was a big sacrifice for our whole family. It continues to be a sacrifice. I forced my kids to go to 40 splash pads last summer.
Mom, how dare you?
How dare. But let me tell you this. We were trying to capture video for our video library for all of them. So this is what it looked like. Out. Everybody back in the van. Let's go. We got 2 more to hit today. I know. Hey, I know.
Hey, Mom, that's a really cool slide. No, gotta go.
I know. I said, I'm taking notes. We'll come back in the fall when the splash pad's off. So I forced my children to visit 40 splash pads. That's sacrifice.
Oh, that's some angry kids. That's what that is.
I know. But that's how it is, So everyone says, how do you do so much with your family? Well, that's exactly how.
It's all abbreviated. That's all.
My kids would cut the gas line.
My gosh. Here. Oh, yeah. We have a liberal arts degree in Indianapolis. We just do a little bit of everything, and we know a little bit about everything. So that's it.
Oh, that's really funny.
Wow. So what are some of the events and activities that are at the top of your to-do list kind of in the next few weeks or months?
Wow. Let's see.
Because spring break is coming up.
I should have known you were going to ask this. So we really love Brick World, which is a Lego fan expo.
That is awesome.
Wait, what?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so if you're into Lego, which just so you guys know, I have to tell you because I learned this, there is no plural of Lego. It's not
Lego.
Legos. It's Lego bricks. So just make sure you get it right.
Okay. We don't want Lego to come after us.
Super important. Yes.
Oh,
So
there's a Lego Gestapo.
oh yeah, it's so true. You got to watch out. So, I always hear people and I go, I know something you don't know. But so they have this Lego Fan Expo at the fairgrounds where
40,000 square foot.
40,000 square feet
Yeah.
of displays made by this Lego user group in Indy, and it is so fabulous. They've even taken it on the road. I know they've been like in Chicago and Louisville, but it started here in Indy, and it's so amazing. You've got to take your kids out there.
Or my husband.
Or your husband. And you said you're an aunt. So, I mean, it's pretty spectacular. And to see them grow, because they started small and they've grown.
That's really cool.
And we've been able to grow with them. Like, we like to promote them. And I remember that the first year that we went and I saw the line around the building, I was like, awesome. I think I contributed to that line by telling people about this. So that's definitely tops on our list for the spring. We always love the St. Patrick's Parade downtown. For spring break, I think we're going to try to go back to some of those playgrounds if it's not too rainy out, because I promise I'm going to have to force them to do
But you're going to do a drive-by again.
No, I will let them play. We will dive deep this time into the playgrounds of Indianapolis.
That's
but
cool.
yeah, no, I think it's a good opportunity. And then, oh my gosh, the Children's Museum opening the new sports experience. Oh, there's just so much. It's going to be a very busy spring in Indy, very busy. And then summer is just, I can't even go there yet. So it's going to be huge.
Will it ever be summer again, though?
Oh, it will. Yesterday was a very big indication of
I know.
summer.
It did feel good. It did feel quite good.
that was freaky abnormal, though.
It was. We were
It broke
barefoot.
all records in February.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it. It was hot. It was hot.
Didn't it feel like dirty and awkward to you? You're like, oh my
No,
gosh.
I did not like it. It made me uncomfortable.
This is wrong. It
No.
feels bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so fun, though.
I know. It was
I love
great.
those little breaks. I can take winter longer if there's like those nice little breaks where you can go outside and do
Right.
things.
Well, keeping in mind how connected you are with parents throughout Indy and Indiana, right?
Yes.
What are some of the common challenges you find parents are facing?
I think that there is this like desire to connect with people beyond being online, and I think just finding a place where you find your people has always been a hard thing. Like, people have always asked us, like, oh, do you suggest that we join a mom's group, or do you suggest that we attend this activity? Because yes, I want my kids to go have this experience, but like, I want to connect with adults. I'm not there to watch all these kids play. And so I think that's always a big challenge. Yeah, you can join a mom's group, but how do you know that those are going to be your people? And so, like, I know I always tell people, like, just go do the things that you enjoy doing, and you're going to find your people there. And you just have to kind of reach out and talk to those people. You can't just stand there and watch
But
your
ask
kid the whole time.
permission first, right?
Right. Don't talk to their kids. Talk to them. But I mean, and if they are not interested, they're just, you'll know right away. But I think that if you just go find people where you like hanging out, and then you make that first step, you'll connect with some pretty cool people.
What are some trends you're seeing among like Indianapolis parents right now? Like, what is there a certain activity or a certain place, a certain thing that's like really generating a lot of feedback from your followers, or what's kind of the vibe within your group right now?
For years, those free indoor playgrounds that like a lot of churches have been huge. And so I was really excited to see when Greenwood Community Center built one. So it's not necessarily related to a church. Maybe you feel a little more comfortable going in there. And it's funded in a different way. So it's absolutely spectacular. I love to see more of the different parks programs and community centers put those things in for the city. We do a wonderful job with our outdoor spaces. I know some people have different opinions on that, but I grew up in Southern California, and we did not have parks like we have here in Indy. Nothing
where
like
in California
this.
were you?
Orange County, Tustin.
That's not a bad place.
It's not a bad place, but I'm telling you, like,
why did you leave there?
I came here for the job as the youth director. I thought I'd stay for 2 years, but then I met my husband, and I married Indiana. So I'm here.
He is quite nice.
He is quite nice.
Yes.
He is quite nice. So I think the trend of those indoor spaces is nice, because not only are they great in the winter or when it's rainy outside, but in the summer in Indiana, it is really hot and muggy sometimes, and it's just not safe to be outside. I'm not allowed to say that, but
So she didn't know.
I didn't say that.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, fix it. But I mean, I just think those indoor spaces are huge, and then also the sensory gyms that even the parks programs have been putting in sensory gyms. They're sensory play gyms for children who. Experience sensory overload.
Yeah.
So I've loved seeing those pop up in the private sector as well as in the parks programs. And then the trampoline parks. We love Zip City on the south side. They have the trampoline park and the zip line all in one. But we've seen a lot of those trampoline parks come up. Like there's the Urban Air in Franklin now. We've got the Sky Zone, the 3 locations.
That's
like
right.
It's getting pretty fabulous out there to be a kid and an adult.
Let alone the escape rooms all over the place.
Oh,
Those
my
things
gosh.
are cool.
Yes. So you have older children. Have you taken your children to the escape room? at all?
Absolutely. Locked them up for about an hour.
Wait,
Mom
aren't they
and Dad had a drink, and
Aren't they still
didn't
in there
get
right
out.
now?
That's what I told someone the other day. I said, you'd find me in the bar. They said, oh, there is a bar at the end. I said, I know, but that's where I'm going to be. You go get yourself out of there.
See?
I
Kindred
love
spirits
that.
here. Absolutely.
Are your kids still in that room right now, or
I
you
don't
eventually let them out?
No, those are really cool.
that's
and
on our
boy,
list.
do you figure out alpha leaders whenever you get them into the room? We actually did one of that with the entire staff here, and that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't make it out.
We didn't make
You
it
didn't
out.
make it out. Some of them are still there. We have 4 alpha leader children in our family, so this might be a problem.
It could be like doggy, doggy, doggy.
It's like a cage match.
Yes, it would be. It would be. Yeah, I would definitely need to be in the bar before and after, maybe the whole time. But yes, I would love to try one of those.
You realize, I mean, as she was rattling through the number of the event, you saw the map in her head.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, she literally
Yes.
has like a GPS
I
mapping
do.
system. She knows
We
everything.
have an app. We have an app called the Indy with Kids app. It's a free
Cool.
mobile app, and it's geolocation based. So
See
you
how I did
up.
that?
I was picturing that map like, okay, what's all around the circle? I don't know where your viewers are from, but we can hit everybody on this. But you can pull up our app and find attractions near you, from parks to some of these libraries, the play areas and the children's areas in them are amazing. And then you can find events going on around you, the different story times, the free bowling, or whatever it is that's happening that day. So I do have a map, and then we turned it into an app. So
A map app.
a map app. Go figure.
I want to ask you a question from the entrepreneur side of things.
Yes.
Because what you did was you saw a gap, you identified you could fix it, and then you did.
I did.
What advice do you have for anybody who might be watching or listening to this show right now who kind of has a vague idea about something that they might be able to fill, a need they might be able to fill? What are the actionable steps you would what encouragement do you have to offer them?
I would say it's a long game. It is not a short game. Don't just dump everything and say, I'm putting everything into this basket right now. That may work, and that could be really bad advice for some of you. But I would say, in general, for me, I worked full time.
Keep your day job.
Keep your day job. I worked full time to fund this business. And my husband worked full time to fund this business, and it grew slowly, and now it stands on its own 2 feet, and pays other people to stand on their own 2 feet. However, there's just no way, I can't see any way that this business without outside funding would have taken off on its own. And even then, it just wouldn't have been organic. And so I feel like maybe we have some staying power because it slowly grew where it is and has a community behind it. It wasn't just presented and marketed in that way, which may be great for some people and for some places. But really think about, is this a long game? And if you don't make money in the first 7 years, can you see yourself sticking it out? I mean, that would be something really
that's wise
soul
advice.
search, Is this something that you love? Or is it money that you love? And because maybe you're going to make money your very first day. Maybe you're not, but just
literally, there should be an entrepreneur test. I mean, and those are the 2 questions. One, are you willing not to make money in 5 years? Right.
Right.
And then,
right.
and then 2, I mean, do you really have what it takes to be able to be disciplined and jump into it and grow it organically? Because nothing good comes without a heck of a lot of work.
Right. And don't let people, I guess, dissuade you. If I had listened to the people that talked to me and fellow entrepreneurs, if I had listened to them back in the beginning, I remember a local business owner that I was talking to about my idea said, well, how are you going to make any money? And I said, well, I mean, I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm focused on building my business, building my content, creating a product before I make the money. But I'd imagine I'd sell online advertising. And she said, there is no money in online advertising. What are you going to make, like $300 a month? And I just looked at her, and I still think about that sometimes when I'm taking a shower, having my deep thoughts, like who says there's no money in online advertising? And I worked for Monster.com for a year or two selling online advertising, and I know how much money I made as a salesperson. And I know
like
much
a
money.
$13 billion
I know.
industry.
And so I just looked at this person who sells online advertising right now. And I just thought, really, like, there's no money in online advertising. And so I just, what people tell you, take it in, but don't keep it. You know, keep it
that's
later so you can look
good.
back and laugh at it. But don't,
So you can bring it up
keep
on a
as
show.
part of your business plan. Yeah.
And send them a note in the mail that just has one word irony or something like that.
Right. Well,
you can still do
Just
something.
ha.
Yeah. Oh, and I bet, and those people may not even remember later. Like, I wonder if I got together with this person now and we talked about it, if she'd say, like, good job. Like, I never really thought about it that way or something. Like, I wonder, because I think that even people who are highly critical of us, perhaps they are good cheerleaders for us and we just don't see it that way. I'm not sure yet.
Like accidental motivators.
Yeah,
kind of?
accidental motivators or people that just really don't know what they're talking about but want to have something to say.
Well,
so
I mean, God puts certain people in our way for particular reasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Is this person still in business, by the way?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good for you too then.
Yes.
Well, Indy with Kids encourages community participation. You want people to log on and submit events, right?
Yes, please submit your event. If your company has a community event that's family friendly, drop in and a decent price range, then we definitely want your activity on our calendar. We do charge for a certain level of advertising if your event is very expensive, because we will have to kind of push that a little bit differently. But we want to support all community businesses. We want to make sure that everything is on our site and that we truly are a one-stop shop, not just a pay-to-advertise place. So we have everything on our site. We'll add your event to our festivals. We'll add your event to our parades. We want to have everything on there regardless of your budget. So it's important to us.
You have a great energy.
Oh, well, thank you. Do I have an aura?
And a map
I
in
always
her head.
wonder.
And
Yeah, and a
you're
map.
a walking map, and that's
I'm
nice
a walking
too.
map. Do I have like a color around me? Like, I've always wondered what my color would, like the aura thing. Like, I don't know. No.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, you have blue right now.
I do.
I don't know
It's
that that's
constantly.
skillful.
I'm a rainbow of colors.
And you're a mom, so you probably have snacks on you too, right?
No, but I do have a diaper in my bag.
Okay, well,
So if we need that, I've got
We're
it.
so happy we're past that. We had 14 years of diapers.
Oh, it is hard. I pulled out my day planner today, and there was a diaper, and hi, it's clean at least.
that is your day, isn't
That
it?
is my day. There were no kids with me, but I had a diaper.
You got to check the show we did a while back. Literally, we saw a news story. A dog ate 21 binkies, 21
pacifiers.
pacifiers.
Yeah, we call it Binky too. We call it
this is
Binky, yeah.
This is Binky. This is
Yeah.
parent language.
Yeah.
For the
Who
younger
has-
generation.
Yeah. No.
There's a
You
threshold.
will learn. There will be a passy or you'll get a name for it.
Yeah,
You
but-
think you won't name things, you will name things.
Anything to actually connect with a kid. But I mean, who has 21 of those in their house? And how did you not notice that 21 of them were missing and the dog's getting longer?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we likely have 21 of them in our house, but like that dog had to be
Strategically
hunting for those.
placed.
Yeah, they're like under the couch. I actually was telling someone the other day that I think I probably spent a year of college tuition on the Binkies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super expensive.
And
because
they're a special one.
when that kid won't be quiet in the middle of the night and you can't find that pacifier that you know was in their mouth an hour ago,
Yep.
you send the husband out to the grocery store and he comes home with 5 of them because
pick one.
Yes,
Pick one.
we're not
Because
doing
he's
it
no
again.
dummy.
And then when it happens again a month later, you should know the dog has them.
Check the dog.
Check the dog.
Check the dog.
All right, so we certainly want to share with our audience where you can go find Indy with Kids. Actually, it's at indywithkids.com. So check that out. You can check out them on Twitter at Indy with Kids, Facebook, Indy with Kids, and Instagram, Indy with Kids. Check.
Yep. We got them all.
Fantastic.
And Snapchat if you really want to. I don't know when I last updated, but we're on there.
How about Periscope, too? Why don't you? No.
Yeah. Used to be on Periscope.
Yep.
Haven't
See?
updated that since chat.
You're good.
Yeah. Well, early adopter and then decide
Yeah,
what works for me. YouTube also.
What about
Indy
Meerkat?
Kids. No, I never did get on Meerkat.
Nobody ever
I
did.
know.
It's kinda
No,
like
I
Google
think
Plus.
a lot of people did, but that was one that I kind of heard about after I heard about a couple other things, and I was too busy at that point.
Too many things. It's like whack-a-mole. But
It is.
Meerkats.
But Meerkats. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Katie.
Thank you for
It was
having
a
me.
pleasure to have you here, and we would certainly love to have you come back and tell us more, especially as the seasons go by, what different events
I'll be here.
We want to guide our parents to.
I'll be here.
Well, that
Fantastic.
are actual parents, but
Yeah,
the parents.
the parents, not our parents,
Right.
because You don't want my parents going there.
No, mine either. Mine either.
All right. So thank you so much. And with that, we're going to jump into another wacky and
Waney segment.
Zany segment with Paul Poteet coming up right now.
Real life, real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis. This is Paul Poteet on the Edge.
Paul's headbanging.
Whoa.
Can you see the thin spot?
Now, hold on. Put your head down. A little bit more in. Oh, okay. He's not going to do it now, is he?
Unless you're paying me, I'm not going to show you my thin spot.
Wow. I know where the line is
This
now.
got weird in a hurry.
Anywho,
Hi, Paul.
Wow.
the front of it still looks great, though. That's the important thing.
Hey, did I tell you that for our Christmas present, white elephant gift, Brittany got me the dad belly thing. Did I tell you that?
That you need to.
Show that to us on the show, or am I just thinking of a dream that I had?
You left out an important component of that, which was fanny pack. I didn't get you a dad bod. You.
That's the fanny pack.
Well, it was something that we had shown on the Edge, right?
Yes.
That's where I'm seeing
And
it.
it was furry and disgusting, and it shows up as a.
Have you used that?
Huh?
Have you used that yet?
I've traumatized my kids several
Okay,
times.
okay.
And on top of that, I wore it at Christmas Day with my in-laws.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just thinking we're going on a cruise soon. I should get one of those and just wear it,
Yeah.
like pose for a photo.
We got to load it up, and then
That's the pose, and you need to put your hand on your hip too.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are hip popping with Paul Poteet on the Edge.
So saucy. Just wait till I become an Olympic commentator. You think I'm saucy now? I'm just going to go for it then.
Oh man, evidently they're swinging for the fences all the time there, aren't they?
Are you ready for something from the Edge, sweetie? I've got something sweet for both of you. What do you want? You want Twinkies?
Give me some Twinkies.
Well, there are a lot of companies, and I'm sure, Aaron, yours is one of them. Brittany, you're getting a lot of bonuses all the time, right?
Hold on there. Move on. Keep on talking.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, here's a company. I mean, there have been a lot of these stories in the news about companies that are reacting to the new tax plan, and so they're doing these bonuses for their companies. This one is different because it's Hostess. And by the way, their stock symbol is actually TWNK.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty awesome. And there they are with their zingers and their Twinkies and such. They are doing $1,250 bonuses to 1,000 hourly employees following the recently enacted tax legislation. The twist is the bonuses would be $750 in cash, $500 in 401k contributions.
Yep.
And the hostess says it will, quote, further sweeten the benefit by giving all of its 1,300 employees a year's worth of free baked products. Yes, indeed.
Say it ain't so.
They're putting their money where their mouth is. Well, I guess they're putting their employees' mouth where their money is. Each week for a year, hostess will select a product of the week and provide a multi-pack to everyone.
Honestly, it almost sounds like they're beta testing new baked products.
What's a zinger?
Zingers are awesome. Those things are
I don't
great.
have a zinger either. What is a zinger?
It's kind of like a long ho-ho kind of thing with. Oh yeah. Remember the ho-hos, right? It's kind of actually no. It's kind of like what's the one with all the icing on top? Oh, like a ding dong, right? But it's long and it's kind of like it's like a chocolate Twinkie ding dong. I don't know. I'm actually
sorry,
romanticizing about this because I don't eat that bloody stuff.
I'm sorry, everyone can't see Tom's face in the other room right now. He's like,
I'm
I'm just reminiscing through the sweet cakes and. I mean, what's your favorite out of all the Hostess?
I don't like the Twinkies or I don't think it's the ding dongs. I don't like. Maybe just what's the one that's closest to a cupcake?
the Hostess cupcake.
Oh,
is it just called a cupcake?
yeah, a ding dong's a cupcake.
It's a cupcake. No, it's just a cupcake.
No, they're Hostess cupcakes.
The one with the black one with the white swizzle on top.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a Hostess cupcake.
Well, I think, yeah. No ding dong, no hoo hoo.
Ho-hos are
Whoa.
great. Pull back.
It must be fun to come up with their names. It must be fun to work in that department of hostess.
And HR is probably right there.
Yeah.
That's all right. Are they just HR? Or are they like the hoo-hoo-ha-ha HR? Do they have a fun hostess?
They got to be plugged into what all the kids are saying now, just so they know that they don't get themselves in trouble, right?
I'm more of a just plain old, big old chocolate chip cookie or a bowl of ice cream guy. I don't know how attached I am to the hostess family. I'm glad they're doing this for their employees, but
it's pretty cool. I still think they're like testing out products as opposed to rolling out.
Like it's not really an act of kindness.
It's like, okay, let's see how you react to this.
When you talk about their HR department, do they say, does their medical insurance provider say, no, you can't, you'll have to pay more, a higher rate if you give your employees some of your products?
Probably not, but hey, who knows?
All things in moderation.
Well, it's a good year for Hostess then.
Good for them.
Yes.
And now we follow Kris Jenner so closely. I don't literally follow her online. I can't imagine. But I did take note of this story because, Whitney, how are your ears? Are they okay?
My ears are great.
Do you have cute ears?
They're just
ears.
some ears.
Aaron, cute ears?
No. In fact, my ears are gargantuan.
Kris Jenner has decided she wants cute ears again. And so she got a earlobe reduction. And so now America is asking the question, is this the next thing?
Oh, literally?
Yeah. Apparently, if you wear heavy earrings, which, this all makes scientific sense, I guess, they pull on your lobes. And after years of that, and of course, a little friend I like to call gravity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sure mine are,
Stop pulling on your ears.
I would like to discredit Kris Kardashian, but she's actually right about this. Like, it's actually a thing. Some of these earrings can be really heavy.
Yeah.
Like, I have heavy earrings on right now.
Okay.
Underneath these. See?
Okay.
They're pretty big and heavy.
Oh, your earlobe is literally pulling down 3 inches.
Like, I have big ear. Like, it can take its toll.
You're wearing those headphones right now, right?
I've got a fix for all of this.
What's that?
Don't wear the heavy
but they're
earrings.
But they're pretty.
Well, you've got that's part of the cute ear, maintenance that you have to have something.
Evidently,
every 30,000 miles.
You got to rotate them.
Don't forget to have your ears rotated every 20,000 miles.
So we're talking about ear tucks, right? So they go in and
they take away part of it and then smush it up. They cut out a piece of the earlobe and then reattach the remaining earlobe to the head.
Have you seen people with earlobes that are attached at the bottom? Like, how sometimes earlobes hang.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes that kind of freaks me out.
Kind of like webbing for toes or something like that.
Kind of freaky.
So they take the pieces of ear off. So what do they do? Do they give it to their friends?
Sell it on eBay.
Romans, countrymen. What do they give? Where do they get the? Never mind.
That's a fun stocking stuffer for the holidays.
Cool. That was a little too visual for me.
Give it to your girlfriend, boyfriend. Hey, whatever it is. Lend me your ear. Right?
Well, you can't turn back the hands of time. You just turn back the ears of time. You take it one piece at a time. That's how you do it.
Do we know the price point for that, by the way? Not that I'm interested. Not that I'm like pricing it out, but
that is a good question. That's the one.
Probably an earful.
Oh, here we go. It can cost a few $1,000s for the fix. Per ear, I'm guessing, when they say a few $1,000s, right?
What happens whenever they cut too much off on one side and not the other?
That would be my fear.
You go to the barber, right? And every once in a while, they give you a little bit more white wall on one side.
I don't know. You could probably inject it again. Implant.
Your hairdresser could make up for that. Like if one was too long, then your hair on the side needs to be a little short.
They have little injections that all of a sudden inflates your ear like Tom and Jerry.
Give me a little extra Botox on this side to make up for the ear. Yeah, you're right. You're constantly, once you start futzing, you never stop futzing. Someone write that down.
No futzing zone here. All right, what you got for us?
Putzing. Item number 3, LA Police, Dragnet, Adam 12. This is serious stuff. They're out there keeping the streets safe. The other week, the LA Police conducted a traffic stop and seized 14 foil-wrapped burritos.
Okay. That sounds good so far.
They did not have chicken. They did not have cheese. They did not have beef. They had methamphetamine in them. That's not even or legal at all.
It's not Diablo sauce there at all. No. Wow.
Hey, it's okay, officer. These are service burritos. No, the LA Police Department says officers with the Rampart Division. Rampart. That's only funny if you watched Emergency in the 1970s. But anyway, the Rampart Division conducted a traffic stop one Saturday evening about 6:30, searched vehicles, discovered 14 foil-wrapped burritos and a trash bag. Turns out, why would you have burritos in a trash bag? So I guess they were probably a little suspicious. Turns out they had meth.
All right, so so there is a connection to illicit drug utilization and burritos. There is that 2 a.m. Feeding frenzy connection there, right? Get the munchies. They're just trying to be efficient.
That's right. It's like the Girl Scouts in Colorado selling the cookies outside of the newly legal dispensary.
Exactly. See?
There's my burritos. Oh, and there was looks like some cash and some weaponry also pulled from the scene there. So the officers also, there you go. Officers seized a handgun, cash from the vehicle. One person arrested on possession of a narcotics charge. But you're right, there's a fast food connection. But I believe make a run for the border might have a different meaning here. That
is awesome. All right.
Good night, everybody. What we found this time around on the edge.
Can I ask one more random question that neither of you are prepared for?
Sure.
Do you have any commentary on Fergie's latest performance? Have you seen it?
Oh my gosh! You talk about wanting to make a run for the border. I took it just out of sadness for her at home, and I just sing it.
So it wasn't your style.
No, it wasn't.
No, have you seen it yet?
Are you talking about the cousin of Queen Elizabeth?
Different Fergie.
Different Fergie. Oh. No, I haven't heard this. What happened there?
So you jumped off the world just before the Black Eyed Peas.
I'll send it to you and we'll get your feedback next week because I'm curious. I want to record your reaction also.
I've heard it bouncing around. I haven't heard that. I've heard the comments about.
So you haven't heard her actual?
No.
Okay, I want you to listen to it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay. There are only so many syllables in the national anthem. You can't just add those. You needed some kind of Yahoo Maps or Google to get through all of the extra syllables that were being put into it. And I think that was her problem. And she just, my theory is, maybe I'm wrong on this, Brittany, the less syllables that you are singing, the less you have to keep track of as far as the tune goes.
Sometimes less is more. Yes,
sometimes less is more.
No, don't you do.
I blame American Idol. Frankly, as is the case with a lot of things, I blame Ryan Seacrest for the breakdown.
Well, fair enough. He is responsible for a lot of bad things.
Society. And that, my favorite, when you watch it, Aaron, you'll enjoy the NBA players. It was at the NBA All-Star. Okay. Lots of the NBA players, you get a couple of these.
And one just straight out laughed.
Oh, no. Yeah, I heard she was getting lambasted.
It was great. This. It was great.
Huh. All right. Well, I'll have to load it up in the old Victrola for myself.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right.
I think you'll like it.
Oh no!
I believe you mean like it.
But I guess it was supposed to be sultry.
As every national anthem should not be.
Yeah, right.
I'm already voting no.
Okay, well.
I love our country. It's a great country, but I don't love it that
way. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know how sexy our country is.
see what I did?
We're going to stop.
Do you see what I
here.
opened up here?
Yeah.
Leave that to France. You can be the sexy country.
Hey, do you have any weather for us today?
Yes. Oh, yeah, if you want it. Here we go. If you really want to talk about the fact that as you watch this, if you're watching the live stream, it's 40 degrees cooler than it was 24 hours ago. If you really want to dwell on that, afternoon temps in the upper 30s to around 40. We not only smashed the daily record yesterday, we smashed the month of February record by a degree. 77 yesterday and 40 this afternoon. That was sweet while it lasted. More rain. Unfortunately, there will be some flooding in the usual areas probably by the weekend because there's another round. The rain will let up a little bit through the afternoon Wednesday, and then one more round late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then one more round both Friday and Saturday, although it gets a little milder again. Next week looks better, and those temperatures are a little above average. But through this period here, as you see in the lower right, 3 to 6 inches of rainfall. Of course, we were a little behind. We were starting to get creeping closer to drought conditions, especially in western Indiana. So that's going to be alleviated by all of this. But yeah, wacky little winter here, and no real snow in the next 10 days, which would put us into March at that point.
Any anticipation of any additional cold fronts, or we just can't see that far out?
Doesn't look at not in the next 2 weeks, at least. There doesn't seem to be any big outbreak. So if it looks like we're going to have a third consecutive winter with below normal snowfall around here, man, we are sooner or later going to.
It'll catch up.
Yeah, it'll catch up, and it ain't going to be pretty. But we've just had a lot of, we've had a couple of freezing rain events this year. It's definitely been colder than average. This month is a little warmer than average now, but December and January made up for that. It was colder. So I know yesterday when you're out and weren't you thinking at one point, like, it wasn't that long ago. It was the New Year's Day, and it was, remember, it was 20 degrees below.
Mm-hmm.
It was so nice yesterday.
Windows were down.
Sweet. But anyway, a lot more rain to come here, and that is our official 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul Poteet.
Well, thank you so much. And for all of our watchers and listeners, we certainly want to steer you towards Paul Poteet. So you can find Paul Poteet at paulpoteet.com. I should never intro. He's got that intro nailed.
You sounded just like Fergie. It's amazing.
I believe sometimes she might be using auto-tune on some of her recordings.
You don't say.
You'd hope so.
Huh.
As well as Twitter, follow Paul Poteet at Paul Poteet. You can find them all at all the Paul Poteets, right? You got that brand covered.
We are all the Paul Poteets. I am him and he is me.
Oh my, he's having a conversation with himself right now.
I would like to follow this more closely.
Follow myself online. So.
Well, thank you so much, Paul, and we certainly appreciate your efforts each and every edge of Indy. So we'll see you real soon.
Carry on.
Bye.
Thank you.
This is Indianapolis. This is home. This is where we live and learn and work. This is where our stories unfold. Some go back generations, and some are just beginning. Indianapolis is home to opportunity, accessibility, and innovation. We are proud locals and transplants who've made Indy our home. We're white collar, blue collar, and no collar. We're rule breakers and traditionalists. We love our neighborhoods and our neighbors.
It's amazing. There's so many great neighborhoods right in the middle of the city. The housing market is one of the best in the country.
We love the way our city swings and sways. We're passionate about the present and proud of our roots. We are makers, movers, and doers. We are educators, professionals, and builders.
Here, if you have a dream, you can actually achieve it.
The story of our city is the story of our people. And in many ways, that story is only beginning. Because Indy is not only what we've been or what we are, but what we are becoming. And what we're becoming is something beautiful. Imagine the place you really want to live. A place that is welcoming.
Accessible. Easy to get around.
A place where you can create any lifestyle you want.
Diverse.
Smart. And a whole lot of fun.
That's Indy, and you should be here. So become part of a city that's ready to embrace your dream. This is Indianapolis. This is home.
This is Edge of Indy, showcasing Indianapolis tech trends, marketing industry champions, and business innovation. Broadcasting from Edge Media Studios. Now, let's get back to today's topic.
I need a tissue.
Hey, I've got to talk to the watchers and listeners of Edge of Indy quickly. If you've heard the audio and didn't see the video, we implore you to jump on and watch the video over at the Facebook page. I got to tell you, that's probably the proudest video that I've had on the show. Just demonstrating Indianapolis and everything that we're about. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
It made me want to cry.
I honestly did. I'm over cleansed. Talk amongst yourselves.
It invokes the emotions.
Oh my gosh.
Really, really well done.
Thank you.
That
really
was
well done.
fantastic. Let's introduce you to our guests here from IndyHub. We have Molly Xavier. Shavers, executive. Yeah, absolutely.
She dared him to do it.
We had a bet. Executive director of IndyHub, and Laura Granieri. Right?
Yeah.
There we go.
You could have said Granieri.
That'd be kind of overkill.
It's true.
And she's the communications manager of IndyHub. Well done, ladies, on that
you.
presentation.
That was incredible.
Honestly, it was amazing just seeing everything that you put into that. And that is authentic messaging of Indianapolis. So thank you so much for just doing that video.
That was great.
Welcome back. I mean, the last time you were here, it's been a while. So how are things going over at IndyHub?
Things are great. I think you were talking to our colleague,
Yes.
Ashley, and
How
one
is
of our
she?
board members.
She's lovely.
Fabulous.
She's
She
great.
said to tell you all hi.
We hope she's watching. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ash. Hi, Carissa. But yeah, we have. It's been almost a year, or half a year, I guess. 6 months.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice half a year check-in with you guys every once in a while.
That's fantastic.
It's like a health check.
Yeah, it is. Dental cleaning.
Pulse check.
Well, for our listeners
Yes.
and our viewers that don't know what IndyHub is, can you kind of encapsulate? Just tell us what IndyHub's all about.
Sure. IndyHub is an advocate and a resource for 20 and 30-somethings here in Indianapolis. And so, that depends, what that looks like depends on the person. So we have a lot of newcomers who are sent to us who are looking to engage in the city in new volunteer opportunities, or they've just moved here and they're looking to get their feet on the ground and find a group that they can kind of call home and make some new friends. But it's not excluded to just people that are new. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are looking to plug into different events or become involved in the community, and that's kind of where we get everybody engaged.
You all are really here to tell us more about a relatively new initiative, and that's No Mean City. Can you give us kind of the background on that, and then tell us what it should mean to Indianapolis to be considered a No Mean City?
Yes. Well, maybe we start with there.
Okay.
Start with that point.
Yes, please.
So,
in any order you'd like.
okay.
It's your segment. Stop controlling the guest.
Excuse me, Miss Chaviers. I'm sorry.
My husband's so proud right now. You butchered your last name, your family heritage.
I'm sorry. She dared me.
It is Shavers, but yes, nonetheless, fancy is better. No means city actually is a reference to former mayor, 1909 Charles Bookwalter, referred to Indianapolis as a no mean city, not an average city. So it's actually inscribed in the cornerstone of City Hall, old City Hall that is, and it's also been something that former President Benjamin Harrison referred to Indianapolis as. So it really does go deep into our history. It also, I think the first reference is the Bible, but I don't think they were talking about Indianapolis. So it's,
who's to really say that?
I mean, really, truly. But to answer your more specific question is, who's it for? What is it? Why did we do this? This kind of goes back to a lot of different issues that we're trying to address here, or opportunities, as I like to think of them. The first is that Indianapolis is a place that if you, whether you're talking to a current resident or maybe somebody outside of the city who's never been here, either way, we don't always talk about the city in the most appreciative of ways. We're not always able to kind of point to the good stories or the opportunities that are happening here, when truly we are anything but an average city. We're bold. Many would say we're a progressive city when it comes to certain topics and certain issues. We take stands on important things. And we really want to help the community uncover those very special things, and also to help the world discover Indianapolis. So it's also serves a practical purpose in that people can find information about schools and homes and other things that are important when we're trying to attract talent to our city.
You, as well as the previous guest, are on a mission of just not collating information, but demonstrating how valuable our city is and how unique it is. And with such a group of contributors into IndyHub, you're constantly able to showcase and shine on organizations and events and locations that need that exposure, that don't regularly get exposure from mainstream, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we really do. We were sitting in the green room listening to Brittany and thinking like, yeah, this is like for young professionals, 20 and 30 somethings, creative types, and what she's doing is very similar for children and parents, families.
Absolutely. So your team represents and advocates on behalf of the largest network of 20 and 30 somethings in Indianapolis. So why should that demographic in particular, certainly I'm offended by all this, realize that, be motivated
Me too.
by all right,
cool.
fine. All right, there we go. All right, game on. It's us versus them. Why should they be motivated by the No Means City movement?
That's a really good question. And it's so interesting because while we think of them a little bit separately, we have IndyHub and No Means City, there is a lot of overlap. And so I think a lot of young people today are really engaged in the communities that they live in, and they find passion behind, the neighborhoods and the cities that they decide and choose to live in. And a lot of times it is selecting. It's not necessarily where people find a job and move to a city because of finding the job first. They decide where they want to live before they actually go there and find the job. And so I think finding that sense of community and that sense of place, it's not something that we're necessarily having to tell people to do. It's just happening naturally.
Even better.
Well, I mean, yeah, and what you're speaking about is a kind of a reversal of what traditionally has been, job first, locale second, right? And this dials in directly to the millennial mindset. Is, as much as I can see it from afar, is that it's cause oriented. It's millennials want to find a place to plug in and be able to give back, and from an online access and a space where people can find that information. Different cities are actually raising up content to be able to showcase, what's going on, but also how different cities are. So what you're doing, can you actually compare that to other cities that are also kind of stepping up and not doing the tourism thing, right? Yeah. But actually defining and differentiating and showing the differentiations of organizations. Are other cities doing something like this?
There are other cities. In fact, Baltimore has an initiative called Live Baltimore, Actually, most American cities have some sort of effort. Ours, in fact, is also encouraging people. While we are a region and we have some amazing assets from a region, Marion County is often overlooked as a place for families to choose. In some cases, that's because people think the school systems are better in the suburbs or they're going to get a bigger home. But really what we've found is some of the issue is just understanding and being able to navigate the channels. And so these are all tools that allow people that ease, whether you've been here for years or you're trying to figure out how you're, you know, going to stay in Indianapolis, or if you're trying to arrive to Indianapolis. So this is a long game effort, as you know. I mean, we have Baltimore has invested a lot of money in this. Orlando has done a recent campaign too. I think it's maybe in the last couple of years called "You Don't Know the Half of It." Columbus, Ohio did one called Move C-Bus, and there are different approaches. We are constantly trying to figure out how do we fine-tune our approach to make it more of a searchable effort, to make it more of a viral effort, to make it something that is both practical but also not too salesy. And so that's something that, you know, from the kind of the insider's view, we're trying to do, that all cities are trying to do.
You're really trying to make this a citizen's guide, too. It's not just you all getting on there and telling people why they should love this city. You really want to engage with people and have them contribute into this space, too. Can you tell us and the viewers and listeners, like, in what ways you want them to get engaged about this and feed your content with their own intake?
Yeah. So all of our writers and photographers are local, and we pride ourselves on engaging with the local artists in the community to provide that content, because oftentimes they're the best people to, you know, push that out there. And so if you are a writer or a photographer, we would love to talk to you. If you have story ideas, you can submit those to info@nomeancity.com. But we also have social media channels in addition to the website. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can engage in addition to pumping out our stories and sharing our content within our audiences. We also like to share our partner organizations. So like Visit Indy, and there's a lot of other great organizations who are supporting our work, and we love sharing the great videos and articles that they're also writing, because it all really just kind of works together.
Yeah, same mission, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Over the summertime, or maybe over different times of the year, you might also see a No Mean City social takeover. So you'll see Indianapolis through the eyes of other organizations that we partner with, too.
That's very cool.
So you also have an initiative that you're launching, or you launched the 2017 Millennial Voices Report.
We are about to launch any day now. We're all waiting with bated breath. But yes, IndyHub, Laura mentioned that we are a resource and an advocate. And we don't just kind of put our finger to the wind and say, what does this feel like? Like, we really do want to understand. We want to go deeper with the 20 and 30-something community here.
Right.
This is a generation that has changed the face of cities. It continues to. It's a generation that is involved in their cities and is connected to their cities. And lawmakers and politicians and policy leaders need to understand what their perceptions are. So we'll be launching that in the next couple of weeks. We're super excited.
Let us know when you do, and we'll share it as well.
Thank you.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
That's all, and that's probably pretty unique to different cities, that they actually take that much time to dedicate to really get a good data-oriented guidance, but as opposed to just going by the gut or what people perceive as a millennial mindset. Because that's the challenging thing, is that as you kind of unpack what millennial is, the stigma's falling off, right? Yeah. And there's a whole other dimension of what it means. It's almost this digital native immersion of where the new media audience is, right? So it's not just the age, it's also how you're consuming content and where your consumers are and what they're going to do with it, right?
Yeah. Are you seeing more and more engagement among the millennial community at this point? I mean, through IndyHub, I imagine you have a good pulse on, are they hungry to engage with organizations like yours? Are they hungry to really make roots here in Indianapolis? Kind of unpack that for us if you can.
Well, I'll offer up that, IndyHub is not a membership organization.
Sure.
So we are open to everybody. We try to really provide that service to people to find what matters to them. Success to us is helping everybody find something that's meaningful to engage with. We think that that's an incredibly effective retention tool for our community, for our corporations, for our small firms and civic organizations. And so it is something that I would say is unique to Indianapolis, is just the plethora of opportunities that are out there and the great desire from our civic organizations to have this perspective infused into their organizations. And I would say, year after year, IndyHub's is a great touch point for us, where we can see that event growing.
Such a good event.
Oh, thank you. It's so much fun.
The best.
It's a big fun fair. Like, come and figure out what you want to get involved in. And this year it's June 14th.
Oh, cool.
Again at the Central Library.
Great location for that too.
Absolutely, and it's just amazing. 100 different organizations, if not more, that come out there, and you will find a brand alignment. You'll find a connection to the Y connection, and that's part of what all citizens of Indianapolis really should plug into.
And it's not an aggressive. It's not like people with pamphlets knocking you over. Like, take our information and like hook up with us. Like, we want you to be. It's so laid back and low key and very authentic in terms of like just organic conversations. It's such a good event. I cannot recommend it enough.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, if I could ask you, what do you have to say to millennials that might be looking for an outlet like IndyHub that aren't engaged yet with the community? Why is Indy kind of worth investing in, where time and energy and engagement are concerned?
From a millennial perspective, which I appreciate, which I try not to use that word, but we've already thrown it out there. So I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to Ball State, and my parents kind of just expected me to move back home afterwards. But I came to Indianapolis because a lot of our projects through the urban planning program at Ball State were focused on downtown Indianapolis. And so I kind of just fell in love with the city. And I think a lot of people are recognizing, in the 5 years that I've lived here, the city has just drastically changed. And especially in Indianapolis, you can, at a young age, you can become a part of the things that are helping to change the city. And I think that's very attractive to people, especially in the 20 and 30 age range.
I agree. Falling within that same bracket. I completely agree. As far as what's left of 2018, it's like still at the beginning.
Feels like it's flying.
It's flying.
Whoa, it's March.
January was a little long for me.
Yeah.
January felt like a whole year in and of itself. But through the rest of 2018, what does IndyHub have planned? What can we look forward to? What do you got popping?
Oh my goodness.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Girl.
We are in the middle, which we haven't really publicized this. We're in the middle of a website redo. So we'll be launching our new website probably close to IndyHub's. So around this summer, we'll be kicking things off with a little website refresh, which is very exciting.
Excellent.
Our summertime event series is called Hello Neighbor. We might have touched on that a little bit last time, but basically it's neighborhood tours. And so we do it by walking, by biking, and we really give people a snapshot of what it's like to live in certain neighborhoods in Indy. So stay tuned for that starting in June.
We have a Think and Drink with Sun
our
King.
next event.
Our next event on March 5th, I believe, and that's with the event Rev Indy, which supports the Method or IU Health Foundation. So we will be doing some really cool giveaways that night. It's at Sun King Brewing downtown. And then Passport to the Arts, which is another signature program we love. It's a ticket sampler we do every winter. It's kind of our winter series. This year, we have chosen the Indianapolis Ballet. We had that last weekend.
Cool. Awesome.
We have single tickets available for the opera coming up in March, and then ISO. I don't know. I think that one sold out.
There might be a few tickets left, but that's the show with Josh Kaufman. So local.
Oh, Josh. I haven't met him yet. I'm surprised we haven't.
Oh my gosh! Right after he won, I ran into him in FedEx.
Did you talk to him?
I was just like, oh my gosh. And I like, can I take your picture? And I just like stood there, and he's like
with him or just of him?
It was
of him.
Yeah. I remember seeing, because that was before I worked at IndyHub, and I saw it on the Instagram account, and I was like, oh, it's Josh.
That's so
I kind
weird.
of
She took a picture of him in FedEx.
I kind of love it.
Just making copies.
kind of big deal he's got to sign or something. I don't know.
Josh, what are you copying?
It's pretty cool. He's probably like, oh, I remember that girl. She was bizarre. I knew I made it.
You might be on a list now, but that's totally
like a
right.
copy stalker or anything.
I'm
like
so
that.
sorry. Oh dear.
But yeah, in addition to our own events, we love to publicize the other events that are happening in the community, especially free events that are kind of tailored towards our audience. And so you can go on our calendar at any point in time, and events are submitted daily. So it's a really good snapshot. Like if you don't have anything to do on a Friday night, one, I envy you. Two, if you're looking for something to do, you can come to our calendar and definitely find something that is interesting and fun.
Cool.
So check out IndyHub at IndyHub.org. For all of our listeners and watchers, go there now. Check it out and dial in and see all the content there, as well as NoMeanCity.com, because that's certainly a great initiative. And go watch that video again, because it is just fantastic. It's a tearjerker.
You need a good cry.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're feeling emotional, just go watch that and
Get
just
it out.
work through it. Just work it all out.
You can see that at the bottom of the screen. You can also go to Facebook.com, of course, / IndyHub.org, or is it just IndyHub?
It's yeah.
.org?
But if you search, you'll find us.
You'll find it, as well as search No Mean City Indy on Facebook, Twitter, IndyHub, as well as No Mean City Indy on Instagram, IndyHub.org, and No Mean City Indy on Instagram. So
Good branding, ladies. Good job.
absolutely. No, that's fantastic.
It's important. Train your viewers.
Yep.
What
So,
to expect.
final words to the citizens that want to get involved and what you're doing. What's their first step?
You can email us at hello@indyhub.org.
There you go.
That's a great touch point. You'll be directed to our colleague, Ashley. But honestly, if you come to our events, all of us are happy. Molly, Carissa, and I and Ashley are very happy to connect you and plug you into whatever it is you're interested in.
You're some good ladies. I like you all.
Thank
You're doing great work. Thank you so much, Ms. Xavier. Appreciate it. Had to swing it back around.
You really committed to it.
I
You
did.
did.
Hey, thanks so much for watching and listening to Edge of Indy, and we appreciate all the goodwill and all the social sharing that you're doing. Make sure that you reach out to all the brands and individuals that we have on the shows regularly, because that's what we're doing the show for. We want to be able to bring exposure to organizations regular. So for all of us from Site Strategics and Edge of Indy, we thank you very much. Be sure to rate us online and give us some reviews and give us some feedback of how we're doing, because we really want to hear from you on a regular basis. So from all of us here, thanks so much, and stay tuned. Next Wednesday, we're back with another show. Thanks again, and see you real soon. Bye-bye. Choose local.